There are no people all over the world who don't believe in reincarnation in one form or another. People, peoples all over the world believe in reincarnation. And you will see that the word reincarnation is English, it's not Yoruba. Ah, but the misunderstanding that I'm referring to is that the Yoruba or Africans don't believe in life after death or everlasting life after death. The wrong impression or teaching, the wrong teaching that the Yoruba believe that every child born represents an ancestor or ancestress. And on the basis of that, it is being taught that the Yoruba and indeed Africans don't believe in everlasting life outside of this world. I am saying it is not true, and I will demonstrate it from my findings. I found that the wrong teaching about belief in reincarnation of the type that only dead people are reborn in Yoruba belief, which is not true. I found that the teaching is traceable to Professor Joseph Omoshade Awolalu, who in his book Yoruba Beliefs and Sacrificial Rites wrote that the Yoruba give their name, that Yoruba names such as Babatunde, Father Returns, Babarinde, Father Walks In, Babawale, Father Comes Home, given to a new baby, is indicative of the rebirth of one ancestor or another. If the child is male, such names as Iyabo, mother comes back. Yewande, mother comes to look for me. Yetunde, mother comes back again. Awolalu bases himself on such names to reach the conclusion that the Yoruba believe that ancestors and ancestresses are reborn in every new child, whether as a male or a female. I asked elders, Yoruba elders, who are adherents of African traditional religion, not associated with Christianity or Islam. And I was told that no, such names don't refer to reborn of an ancestor or ancestress, that they are coincidental names circumstantial names. That a child is called Babatunde, Babarinde, Babawale, and so on. If a male child is born at a time the grandfather dies, and Iyabo, Yewande, and so on. If a female child is born when a grandmother dies, that it has nothing to do with reincarnation. It is not that the Yoruba, like other peoples of the world, don't believe in reincarnation, but that those names implicated by Professor Awolalu have nothing at all to do with reincarnation. Yet, Awolalu goes as far as saying that whenever a child is born in Yoruba land, the oracle is consulted to know which ancestor or ancestress is born. Oh, nothing can be further from truth. I myself, I was born into African traditional religion. I grew up as an adherent of African traditional religion. Even in primary school, I was of age to know what is done because I was living with the people in my family, in the extended family, and in the village at large. So, if Awolalu is true, I would have known. But that is not true. Beyond that, I went to elders. This is what I heard in the university. This is what I read in academic books. What do you say? They said, no, they are coincidental names, accidental names, circumstantial names. Our grandfather dies. Coincidentally, we give birth to a male child. We console ourselves with Babatunde, father comes back. Babarinde, father walks in. Babawale, father comes home. Based on the circumstance of the moment, not because of reincarnation. And further from consulting the oracle to know which ancestor came back. Ditto, when a female child is born, when a grandmother dies, such a female child is given one of the names, Iyabo. Mother comes back. Yetunde, mother is back again, and so on. So, what happens is that Awolalu bases himself on the literal translation of the names, using the literal meaning of the names without asking for the implication of the names. So this is the type you call armchair research. Armchair research and not actual research. Because somebody is called Babatunde, you say it's because the people believe father returned from heaven or from death. But it's not. So looking at the pattern of naming in Yoruba land, a child is named based on the prevailing circumstance at the time of the birth of the child. And so if it is rainy, the person may be called Abejide, somebody born during rain. Abiodun, if born through festival. Ayobami, when the person is rejoicing. And Ayodeji, double joy. If, for instance, they are doing opening a new house and the child is born, that is second joy. And so Ayodeji, I'm sure you must are familiar with these names, and you will trace them to the circumstance of the moment at which the child is born. So Awolalu is definitely using the literal meaning of the names rather than doing what I did, research. You will also know that Awolalu is wrong in the sense that if he were right, then every Yoruba would have been bearing a similar name to indicate the ancestor the child is representing. But it's not true. He himself doesn't have such a name. His name is Omoshade. Omoshade is like a child is like a crown. And his father, Awolalu, somebody born into the divinatory family, in the family of diviners. So, and when somebody is called Abiodun, somebody born during festival, you see circumstances deciding the names. Even when somebody is called Abegunde or Abegunrin, that means somebody born during masquerade festival, and the parents happen to be devotees of masquerade. So clearly, it has not those names that Awolalu, from which Awolalu derived his conclusion that the Yoruba people don't believe in life everlasting outside of this world, is wrong. The premises on which he based himself is a wrong premise. But the belief is so prevalent because his book, Yoruba Beliefs and Sacrificial Rites, is one of the earliest books to appear on African traditional religion. I think the first one by E.G. Parinda appeared in 1975. There are earlier ones, but the one referred to as African traditional religion was first written by E.G. Parinda. And Bolaji Idowu also wrote African Traditional Religion, a Definition. And that came in 1973. Okay, that means that, because he wrote his own in 1973, and I know that that of E.G. Parinda is earlier, because he was the first person to use that expression, African Traditional Religion. So there is nothing like African eschatology being cyclic. No, it's not cyclic. Once you live and die, that is the end of your life in this world, except some cases of reincarnation, but which has nothing to do with the names, because the names are a different cup of tea. The whole world believe in reincarnation, but I am saying that those names used by Awolalu to arrive at his conclusion that traditional Africans don't believe in life after death, everlasting life after death, is wrong. We speak of the ancestral world, and the Yoruba people say, Odigbere, Odarinako, Odojuala, that means until eternity. When somebody dies, the Yoruba say, Odigbere, Odarinaku. That means until eternity. So it is the same people you now say they don't believe in life everlasting outside of this world.